We told y'all it wouldn't be any major changes, but we didn't account for stupidity. The Chicago Bulls have fired their head of player development, Peter Patton. We're going to discuss it all and more on Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. Double duty today, Pat. The Chicago Bulls have fired their head of player development, Peter Patton. He had a third-year option on his contract. I guess the Bulls only give out player options for the players. They don't give coaching the options on that one. But they decided to remove Peter Patton from being the head of player development. Reportedly, after the players found out about this, there's a group of players that basically just aren't happy. This is such a weird move to make when you literally just talked about the importance of development and not rushing your timeline. Pat, how you feeling about this move?
I'm still stunned. Again, I'm trying not to scream, bro. AK just lies, bro. It's just he lies, bro. Like, I get like the politics of basketball and you don't want to never let them know your next move, all that, right? AK is legitimately a liar. We want young pieces. We want to go build through the draft. We want to develop pieces. Let me give y'all some first round picks. I won't want them. No. Oh, you got a protection on that. We may not get it till next year. We don't want that. He had the nerve to walk into a press conference and beg Bulls fans for patience. In a season where you saw half a season of pure player development.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from everybody.
Everybody.
I literally was like, Dalen Terry's not an NBA player. By the end of it, I was like, okay, he can play in the NBA. I'm not even telling you he's good. I'm just telling you he went from not being a player that should have been on an NBA court to being in the NBA.
Yeah.
You fired your head of player development coach. In a season where Josh Giddey goes from being unplayable in the fourth quarter to one of the best point guards in the NBA, you fired your head of player development. In one of the only seasons under your entire tenure on this team that a rookie actually developed, you fired your head of player development. AK shouldn't be fired. He should be launched into the sun. He should not be allowed within 7,000 miles of any close Portillo's. Anything even associated with Chicago, he should be put down. Except for Kanye West. He can be by Kanye West. Let them kick it together. Maybe that image will get him off of my team. This is unbelievable, bro.
Yeah. This is wild. Like this is, I didn't have this on my bingo card at all. Like, even when you look at some of the changes that the Bulls could make on paper, no matter how likely they were or not. Me, you have never talked about the chances that Peter Patton was not going to be around. And we talk about the Bulls every single day. We've never even given a shred of thought that Peter Patton would be fired. Like, when the news when it first dropped, it was that Peter Patton was not going to return. My initial thought was, oh, Peter Patton looked at this crap and said, I'm finna get up out of here. But then as it went on and the news started and more details started trickling out, and it was then, no, AK made the decision to fire him. That's where I was like, hey, this makes no sense.
Bro, this makes
no sense.
None of what he does makes sense. There is no plan. He has pieces of a plan. He literally is doing 4 different plans and trying to see which one hits first and not doing any of them well.
Yeah.
Like, there is no plan. There is no build through the draft, go young, right? Like, I guess in theory you did go young, but now it's young. Okay. You know what you need when you go young? Player development. Unless you think you're going to go out there and find another god that just walks in and is like, no, I'm just really good at basketball and like nobody can stop me. You're going to need to develop some pieces. Like, this is absolutely unbelievable that we're sitting here talking about after a plan, after you coming out and begging Bulls fans to be patient. Wait till 2026, then I'm going to show you some. 2026? You just had a 57 win percentage in the second half of the season. What about 2025? Like, the only way this makes sense, and I'm gonna be honest with you, is if Jerry Reinsdorf finally put the bowl of soup down that he's been sipping on for 6 years, walked into the office and said, we're gonna fire our AK after the playoffs.
No.
Start firing everybody else now. It's the only way this makes sense.
Well, here's the thing, right? You got, I always try to look at things and try to find some sense in it. The only sense that I can make of this is that you have two assistant coaches that have both been heads of player development before, and maybe you're looking at it like we're just gonna use Dan Craig and Wes Unseld as our player development coaches. Let's not have a whole department again. That's the only thing that's the only sensible thing that I can try to pull from any of this.
That's not sensible though. Peter Patton's better than both of them. You fired the better dude. Hey, listen, this is what the Phoenix Suns are doing. They fired the better dude for worse versions of himself.
I mean, if technically we're going though, the players that Wes Unseld and Dan Craig have won more awards than people that Peter Patton has trained with. I'm just saying, if that's the logic that they're trying to use.
Peter Patton got Luka.
And Wes Unseld has Jokic.
Peter Patton got first off, Peter Patton, wasn't he with Vooch too? He got Vooch and he's got
what is Vooch won?
Huh?
What is Vooch won?
It ain't about winning. It's about being a good player.
Well, I said no. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, more rings, more awards, more accolades have come from those guys. And again, I agree with you. You shouldn't have fired Peter Patton. I want to be clear. I'm just saying that if AK's looking at it, and maybe it is a Reinsdorf thing, like, hey, you got three people who've all been head of player development. We need to let go of one of those. Like, it could very well. It may be that Michael Reinsdorf woke up and was like, hey, I see you created a player development department. Do we need a whole department for that?
Listen, it 110% being the daggers could be placed at the right spot, but I watched AK make dumb decision after dumb decision. If it looked like a duck, if it quacked like a duck, I'm calling it a duck. And this one,
it's stupid.
I forgot we was on locked on.
Yeah, it's stupid.
And this ducker is a duck.
Great. Bravo, Pat. Bravo, Pat. Great catch there.
We almost was going to have a bro. Well, we ain't got no ad reads, so maybe we can get away with a little bit more.
Maybe we can get away with it because we're not selling this to advertisers, maybe.
I just, bro, listen, this is a move. I mean, look, the true direction of this team is now in the air.
Yeah.
Like it's in space. And let's be real, as far as at least where I let my mind go, I would assume that Peter Patton, being with the organizations that he's been with, he probably wouldn't have traded Luka, is the logical one in the room that probably walked in and was like, hey, AK, I know these are your boys, but
he will sucks.
Remember, sucks.
We heard it earlier in the season that Peter Patton basically was like, I can't do nothing with this kid. That's what you hired him for.
And when you pair that message up with what we heard at the end of the season from AK talking about, well, he have a very, very difficult season, but, we're going to watch and see what he does next season. We'll see what ends up happening with that. Oh, really? We're going to watch. Well, let's all gather around the TV and stare at this mug, not take shots. When he does take shots, miss shots, and watch him get punked by everybody smaller than him.
Yeah. Yeah, bro, I have no idea anymore. Because this just there's no way that this is best for the franchise. Like, Wes Unseld and Dan Craig have done solid things for this team. Like Modest has also talked about Dan Craig this offseason, but everybody from Coby to Io to Modest to Dalen and to Julian, everybody has talked about. Hell, DeMar talked about him last year. Like, yeah, like I'm sorry, like this guy has helped people at every level got better. And when you're in a phase where you're telling us to have patience so 22-year-olds and 20-year-olds and draft picks that we don't even have yet can get better, you do something like this.
You want to know what sucks about it is these are the things that remind me that we really are a poverty franchise outside of two bits of luck.
Two bits of luck.
Two bits of luck.
That's why I titled today's earlier episode that the only way that the Bulls, any change is going to happen here is through luck. They better hope their luck changes.
Like it you know what? I can't do it. First off, I can't do it because of work. But Adrian, you're right. This deserves a protest. Because your front office literally said, we want to develop, we want to have player development, we want to build through being young, and we're going to add through this team and compete the entire time. Fire the head of player development, get them out of here.
Let me ask you this, Pat. Let's switch gears here. The players reportedly have been upset about this. And that we haven't heard a lot about players being like, typically it seems like everybody kind of toes the company line. Do you think that these players being upset, and with like Josh Giddey has some control, he's a restricted free agent, some he has to sign. Coby White, unrestricted free agents at the end of next season. If he does have a really good season next year, may hold. Is this the thing that may actually start the ball? I'm not saying immediately, but may start the ball rolling on maybe some actual change happening in this franchise, because the players are now the ones that have voiced themselves being, and they haven't voiced a lot of discomfort, dishearteningship with this team lately.
At this point, the only thing that'll make changes is if they actually are upset and Coby White walks in and tells his agent, "Don't sign here, I'm leaving."
Yeah.
If Josh Giddey says, "Yeah, I get, I'm a restricted free agent, but I'm not playing here. Y'all can trade me." Like that's what brings change. That the players actually taking action, and they don't have a ton of power because they are young players and different things like that. Coby White does. He has more power because he's more of a free agent. He's unrestricted, right? Ayo Dosunmu, but like that's what brings change, right? That is what, and it's not the change that I want. Listen, I back the plan of be as competitive as possible and try and find the right pieces in the draft. I think that is a good plan. If you follow through that plan 110%, AK want to dabble in this plan over here, wants to dabble in this plan over here, wants to get a little bit of this plan over here, try and make a plan goulash and see what ends up coming out. He keeps trying to turn chicken salad into
goulash.
Yeah, he keeps trying to turn chicken, into chicken salad. And it's just, at some point you have to actually go down a single road, and the Cubs just went down 11-7. They were up 7-1. I needed that bit of joy in my life. I'm not gonna lie to you, dog. The Bucks was up 7-1 to Arizona, and they gave up 11 runs. But no, bro. Like you have somebody at the helm that literally doesn't have a direction and hasn't figured out a direction in 6 years.
Yeah.
Was that a pause? Helm?
No, it was my brain. You said doesn't have a direction, and my brain didn't hear that. I was like, why'd you go with that bar?
I don't think that's a crazy bar.
No. Not going with that direction is not a crazy bar, but that's not what my brain think about.
Okay. Goro said, "Oh, shut up, Pat." I'm sorry. Still better than the sides. Everybody better than the sides. That don't hurt me. It's a Jay Reinsdorf on team. That don't hurt my feelings no more.
Exactly.
I'm dead inside.
When you're a fan of two Jerry Reinsdorf owned teams, there's nothing there's nothing that you can do anymore.
I'm dead inside.
Yeah.
This was the last straw. This is the one that broke me. Yeah, I was sitting there.
Let me attest to this for y'all. Pat didn't hear the news. I called Pat and told Pat the news. And when I said the Bulls just fired Peter Patton, there was a noticeable silence of Pat waiting for me to say, "I know, I'm just messing with you." There was the note, and then that was followed up by "What are they doing?" Like it was like it was funny. It was hilarious.
I couldn't believe he was serious, bro. I was just like, there's no way he's for real. Like it's gonna be I'm just playing. We got this video to do. Lonzo Ball leg fell off. You know what I mean? I just knew it was gonna be like, oh, you didn't hear the news? Lonzo ain't got shoulders no more, so he probably not coming back next season. Like I was waiting for that. Yeah. I would have believed anything over after a year of development, the Chicago Bulls fired their developmental coach. At this point, you have to wonder if there's a little bit of trying to sabotage this team.
I get that, but like, what would be the point? Like, I hope.
Hey, maybe he doesn't want it to look like he's quitting, and he's trying to do everything that he can to get fired.
Maybe, bro.
Maybe AK don't want to be here. Again, these are not logical things. I'm just saying stuff because this is that unbelievable. This is on par. Which is a dumber decision? This or re-signing Lonzo Ball after 35 games?
They're both pretty stupid, Pat. They're both pretty stupid. They're both pretty dumb. I don't even know, bro.
I'd rather see 40 games of Javon Carter than have to pick between either of those decisions.
Yep. I mean, at least Javon Carter has the chance of putting up at least going 3 for 5 from 3 every once in a while.
Bro, I thought there was a better chance of THT growing hair than this situation.
Vaughn says this is the humiliation ritual you have to do before the NBA gives you the number 1 pick. Maybe.
That's funny, actually. That's funny. That's funny.
If this is what, listen, but that's the thing still. All right, cool. You get the number 1 pick.
Who's developing
the number 1 pick? I don't know anymore, bro. Anything left, bro? I got nothing.
No,
left,
I got nothing left. I have nothing left for this team. There's nothing that this team deserves. They are one of the most embarrassing franchises I've ever seen in my life, and I'm a Sox fan. Like, this is here's the thing. The Sox are horrible, right? The Bulls are consistently embarrassing. Like, the Sox just are like, oh, we got bad coaches. We don't have enough talent. We got this. We got all this going on. And it turns into a crap show, right? Because there's just not enough there.
Yeah.
The Bulls consistently have talented players on their team, development happening on their team, money to spend, and draft picks. With those 4 things, you would think you would figure something out. And when they do figure it out, then they go, hey, click, clack, pow. I shot myself in the foot. Be patient with me, though.
It is what it is, Patrick. I don't know what to say anymore about this team, man. At the end of the day, this is the team. These are the days of our lives. I don't know what else to say, bro.
Bull's foot got more holes in it than Lonzo's wrist, man. Let me get up out of here.
We appreciate you guys for tuning in with us, man. You can follow us at Locked On Bulls. You can follow Pat at Pat the Designer. You can follow me at CEO Haize. Locked On Bulls is free and available on every podcasting app and platform of your choice, as well as YouTube. We were supposed to be off for the rest of the weekend, Pat. We're supposed to be off for the weekend.
I'm finna start drinking.
Yeah, I mean, it's that time. Love you guys. Go Bulls, y'all. We'll see you guys on Monday. We'll see if any other details come out between now and Monday. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
This just in. The Chicago Bulls have fired Stacey King.
What you saying is job? I mean, I'm just playing, Stacey. Stacey, I'm just playing. I love you, dog.
Oh, man. And they have replaced him with Dan Bernstein.
Dang it! Now the kids are involved.